to be continuing our exploration of finding equanimity. And I'll start today with exploring the state of the energy. And I can imagine this is something that you're all sort of curious about because there is a lot of energy circulating right now. And we are, if you recall from last few months, we've been in the midst of this season that, from a Vedic perspective, is dominated by air and space, and that combination of air and space elements in Vedic tradition is called Vata, and we often think of that as the time of autumn. And now we're moving into a time where earth and water will be dominant. And that is in Vedic tradition thought of as a kapha season, Kapha, and it corresponds roughly to the winter season. So, what's really going on here when I talk about all these elements is that we are moving from a time of great movement into a time of much, much less movement. So, the dry, cool, fast moving, more anxious, elemental state of autumn or the Vata season is now giving way to a much slower period. And as we approach what we think of as winter or the Kapha season, we will be moving into a state that is no longer dry, it's wet and it's cool. And depending upon where you're located in on the planet and how far north you are, it could be cold. And it's kapha is an elemental condition that is really considered to be really a gently growing state. So in human beings and or sentient beings, animals and humans, um, the time of our life that is considered kapha is from conception through maybe our early 20s. Um, that's the time when our main job as human beings is to basically grow. Our body's growing, our mind's growing, we're growing ideas, but it's not really fast growth. It may seem fast sometimes when you look back at your kids, but it's really a gentle, steady growth. And that's the type of environment we're entering into as we approach winter. If you were affected by the anxious feelings that are associated with vata, those will give way often to more depressed feelings. It's more of a sedentary and sluggish time. Things accumulate. The water begins to accumulate. It no longer flows. It crystallizes and accumulates in the form of snow in many places or ice. Um, it tends to be also a more nurturing time, and tends to be more predictable than autumn or the Vata season. So in essence, we are currently in a moment of transition, and we're moving from dry cold to wet cold, from moving energy to solid energy. But we are also approaching a very special time that brings winter to us, and it's a time when we pause, reset, and we spend a few hours, days paying attention to the space between that inhale and the exhale that we experienced when we were breathing together. And this time, known as the winter solstice, is a time when we can listen to what's really going on. This is the time to pause and listen for the truth. And that's, of course, called the winter solstice. So, most of you probably know that the winter solstice is the time of year in the Northern Hemisphere when we have the longest amount of darkness and the shortest amount of light or of daytime. Um, and so it's essentially associated with the position of Earth in space, right? And it has to do with the tilt of the Earth. In Latin, the word solstice comes from the word sol for sun and sistere for to stand still. So I can't help but think that from the dawn of human history, this time of the solstice was recognized as a time of extreme stillness. And for us in the Northern Hemisphere, the winter solstice happens this Saturday, December 21st. And actually, the actual moment here in the central time zone when we're going to have the shortest amount of light is actually 3:21 a.m. I'm not sure exactly when and how this is calculated. So some of us may miss the actual moment, but it is traditionally celebrated over a course of a few days. So don't feel like you're missing some big moment by not being outside when the solstice actually occurs. But it clearly is a time of celebration and honoring the solstice. And why is that? Well, the solstice is thought of as a moment of possibility. And it's very grounded in the earth. It's that earthly moment when new things can emerge in our lives, but we must provide the space for them. If we ignore this moment, if we just go on rushing around doing what we do, we may miss this moment. And this is a time by observing this pause and making space. It's a good time for us to make room for goodness. And that means goodness in ourself, goodness in our environment and in our world. And if we are spending all our time racing around, we may miss the opportunity to do this serious work. So, how do we do this? What's a good way to celebrate and honor the solstice? Well, the Scandinavians, the Celts, the Northern Europeans in general seem to have really specialized in the winter solstice rituals, but the winter solstice is really celebrated all over the planet. But in Wales, there is a celebration called Arthon, and it's considered the time of death and rebirth, and it happens around the 21st through the 22nd. If you think of the Yule log in Scandinavia, the Yule log is a symbol of the solstice. It's of heat, life-giving properties, and the new arrival of the sun, and then the ashes of the departing night. And then, of course, Christmas and New Year's, well, Christmas especially is theoretically celebrating a Christian experience. Um, it is um, derived from pagan and ancient Roman rituals. And in ancient Rome, there was a celebration called Saturnalia. And that's a time when grudges were forgiven and a lot of carnival-like festivities happened. And it happened around, the 17th to the 22nd. So all over the planet and throughout time, people have celebrated in various ways. And I think the reason that celebration of the solstice is so significant is that it's really a shared human experience. It's non-denominational. It's not affiliated with any sort of a religion. And it's really based on a co-experienced phenomenon, something that's really happening on the ground. It's not a mythical thing even that's happening. The earth is in this particular position vis-a-vis the sun. And so in essence, it's a cross-cultural experience, and it's rooted in the present moment, which is kind of unusual for a lot of our celebrations, I think. But it's very present, sort of a celebration time. And then it is a great time to experience connection and synchronization because the Earth is synchronizing up with the sun. And it allows us to become more synchronized with the rhythms of our natural world, helps us to become more synchronized with each other, with ourselves, and of course, with the earth, with the planet. And it allows us to create space for new beginnings as the sun begins to reappear. So these can be new beginnings at all sorts of different levels: mental, environmental, emotional, physical space. And this is also a great time to explore our shadow selves and ask ourselves really tough questions because we're creating the space to pause and do this important work. What matters to me? What, what things make me happy? Those sorts of questions. And then after we explore all these different things, we then have the opportunity to say goodbye to some of these things that we want to let go of and welcome in new things in the form of the light. And as we welcome in the light, we can then voice our gratitude for the abundance in our life, voice our gratitude for those things that bring us joy, the kindness of our neighbors. And of course, this is a time of sweetness. This tends to be a family time, a time where people group together, connect. But it's a time when we actually consume things that are sweet as well. And here's some pictures of celebrations of the solstice in a culture that looks like it might be maybe Middle Eastern or Turkish or Persian or Iranian. So at this time of year, people tend to eat a few more fruits, nuts, seeds, honey. So I encourage you to do that this time of year. Um, and then next month, we'll talk about ways that we might want to not eat quite as much of those fruits, sweets, honey, etc. We can renew our lives. We can take hot baths. This is a good time to do some shaking and dancing, especially on the 21st. Welcome this light, shake and dance. I realized a few weeks ago that I had abandoned my shaking in the morning, which I was doing pretty religiously as part of my meditative practice. And I was feeling sort of out of sorts. And I sort of reinvigorated my shaking. And I realized how much it really did improve my day and lighten up my load. And you can welcome the light of the sun by taking a walk at dawn. You can welcome the light with Tai Chi. There's all sorts of things we can do to renew ourselves as we take this sacred pause. After all, as we take these little baby steps to renew ourselves and to renew our life and renew our commitment to goodness, realize that the earth is also renewing itself. It's taking its little baby steps. But those little baby steps, truly, when you look at the cycles of the earth, it really does result in big changes. So as the sun slowly begins to emerge after we've gone deep into ourselves, we know that come a few months, the flowers will be blooming again. So the earth has enough sense to take a pause so that it can renew itself and make positive changes. I suggest we take a cue from the earth. And to sum up, really, what I want to express, I came upon this quote from Toni Morrison, the author, who left us really not too long ago. And she said, it's not possible to constantly hone in on the crisis. You have to have the love. You have to have the magic. That's also life. So I'm going to give you just a little bit of business here before we move on to our meditation here. I will be having another session in um, January. I can't tell you exactly when. It'll probably be the third Thursday, but I don't know yet. Um, and as always, and Kathleen, you'll be on the list. I do email out a link to a special web page I have for people who come to these sessions, and it has on it recordings of this session, and it also has materials and resources from all sorts of past Kindred Spirits sessions. So I mean, once you get that link, you can go in and sort of peruse and find things that interest you. So on this note, I'm going to invite everybody to, I'm going to take about a minute or two to get myself set up and get the music set up. And I'm going to ask you during that minute or two to get yourself comfortable. We're going to celebrate the great pause here. And I'll be taking you on a guided visualization. So you want to make sure you're comfortable, you're warm. If you want to light a candle, this is the time to do that. If you need a little glass of water or something and have that handy, you might want that. You can lie down or sit up in a chair for this one. So as you get yourself settled, I'm going to just spend a minute here trying to cue up the music. So. And can people hear the music? Can you give me a thumbs up if you can or cannot? Molly, do you hear it? Okay, thanks. It's always hard for me to know if you're hearing what I'm hearing. So, and at this point, if you could make sure you are muted, and this would be a good time for you to turn off your camera because it'd be distracting when people watch the video. And if everybody's ready, I'll go ahead and get started. What we're going to do here is experience another piece of guided imagery or guided visualization. So you want to be warm and you want to be comfortable. Expect it'll last about 20 minutes or so. I will be helping you to go a little bit deeper inside yourself for this experience, so that you can so that you can access some of your subconscious. So things may come bubbling up as we proceed through this visualization. And so if it becomes too intense for you, please feel free to, if you need to turn down the volume, if you need to step away, do take care of yourself. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself. It's possible and not uncommon that you may fall asleep. And if that happens, that's totally okay. Hang on here, let me see if I can turn, Risa, I'll see if turning the music down a little bit helps you hear me. So if you do fall asleep, that's totally okay. These can be really, really relaxing. And if you were to fall asleep, the guided visualization can still connect with your subconscious. So things may still bubble up. So be prepared for that. But at the end of the meditation, I will cue you verbally and let you know when I'm getting ready to turn off the recording. And that means that you'll be hearing a voice. So that might wake you up. Um, and I will also let you know when I'm going to be turning off the music. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and invite you all to allow your body to relax and noticing where your feet touch the floor or the bed, the cushion that you're on. Maybe sensing your body sinking a little bit deeper into the floor or deeper into your chair. And inhaling and exhaling and allowing the cares, the trials, the tribulations that you've been experiencing through the day, just drop gently, just allowing yourself to let go. And thoughts may bubble up, but as thoughts pass through your mind, realize this is totally normal. But allowing your thoughts to just drop and settle inside of you like gentle snowflakes. So beginning to follow your breath, noticing where your breath enters your body. It might be at the tip of your nose, your upper lip, and following your breath, noticing what it feels like to breathe and be you. Inhaling and exhaling. You may notice the rise and fall of your chest or your belly. Just gently breathing. Inhaling calm and exhaling peace. Inhaling calm and exhaling peace. Inhaling and exhaling. Allowing yourself to go deep, deep, deep. Inhale calm and exhale peace. And now I invite you to picture yourself in an outdoor space. Could be a space that you're familiar with, could be a new space, but it's a space where you feel completely safe, peaceful, and easy. It could be your home, it could be the woods, it could even be near the ocean, but you're outdoors and the air is slightly cool. As you look up, you see the sky is pink and it's beginning to shift to the color purple. And you feel safe, at ease, and totally at home. You are warm and comfortable, and you feel totally and completely protected. And you begin to walk. And as you walk, you sense the cool air around you. You may feel the snow beneath your feet. You may hear the crunch of rustling leaves or sense your feet sinking into the sand. And you look around and see there are trees, and you can smell the trees on the breeze, maybe the scent of pine or fir. And you continue to walk in complete comfort and safety. And as you proceed to walk, the ground begins to slope down. And as you begin to make your way down, a path emerges in front of you, beckoning you to follow it. And as you begin to follow the path down the hill, You again look up at the sky, and it is beginning to darken. And as you descend deeper and deeper down the path into the earth, you begin to see stars emerging from the dark sky. They emerge above you, a great sea of diamonds twinkling in the night, and you are filled with a sense of deep comfort. And as you reach the bottom of the hill, you see in the distance a clearing. And in the center of that clearing, you sense a beautiful glowing light. And you feel called to approach this light one step at a time. And as you become closer to this light, you see it as a crackling campfire. And you feel with certainty that this is the right place for you to be right now in this moment. And as you look around, you see there are cushions, benches, blankets for you to rest your body on. And you settle yourself down onto a comfy bench or on a pillow and begin to adjust to the darkness and the warmth. And as you adjust, you begin to feel deeply connected to the earth beneath you. And as you're adjusting to the darkness, you look up and begin to see that you are being joined by other beings. These may be people, animals. They all give you a feeling of deep joy, love, and gratitude. They may be people you have known, people you do know, maybe your ancestors. They may be strangers. But you know deep in your heart that you are all on this journey to support each other. And as you observe these beings joining you, a sense of gratitude and love for their presence fills you with joy. So you take a moment to experience the richness of your connection to these beings. Become aware of the boundless nature of your own open heart, feeling yourself grow larger amidst this exquisite energy. And your surroundings begin to sing and dance, glowing, sparkling, vibrating in their own splendor. You feel a wonderful, peaceful kind of joy as you melt into the beauty of the night, dissolving boundaries and becoming part of the vibrance of your own surroundings. You become pure color, dancing energy, soaring song, one pulse with the planet and with everything it supports and nourishes. Seeing the beauty of your own life, and comprehending your life's journey from the vantage of this powerful, healing light. You see it all. You see all the pain, the fear, the hardship, all the courage and kindness and love, the special gifts and abilities you possess, your moments of triumph, great beauty, and your moments of despair and lost perspective. All of it. You see all of it through the softness of this exquisite light. And now you know it's time to prepare for the return of light, but you realize you are still deep in the darkness. And the fire invites you to now shift yourself, to go very, very quiet. As you watch the flames, you sense yourself dropping down, down, down. And you're no longer aware of those around you. It's just you and the solstice fire. On this day, on this night, the solstice asks you 3 questions. And you let each of these drop down in you like a penny in a deep well. And just see what happens, see what comes up, no matter how vague, how surprising the answers may be. You know the answers to these questions will bubble up when the time is right. What really matters to you at this point in your life? What really matters? What do you want to create as we move into the next year? And what values will anchor you for this vision for your new year? What really matters to you? What do you want to create this year? And what values will anchor you for this vision? Knowing that if the answers don't come to you now, things will bubble up in time. Everything that has been or will be will be revealed and absorbed by the flames. And now you begin to see the light of the flames slowly diminishing as the fire begins to be reduced to embers and slowly burn itself out, leaving ashes. And in the ashes is a gift, a symbol of everything you've explored tonight. What has the fire left for you to take into the new year? Taking this gift, you begin to prepare to make your way your space together. Take your gift and you rise. And as you look around, you see your companions are all taking their gifts and preparing to re-inhabit their bodies. You begin to walk back to your path, saying thank you to your companions for supporting you in this moment. And begin to walk up the hill, one step at a time, as you inhale and exhale. And as you approach the top of the hill, you gaze to the east. And while the sky is still black and dark, with a few diamond stars, you begin to see a light peeking up from the east. You see the sun returning. You see the new dawn. And you know that there are longer days ahead. And you continue to walk one step at a time till you reach your space and know it's time to re-inhabit your body. You may choose to wiggle your fingers or your toes. Roll your shoulders. And when you're ready, gently opening your eyes. As the music begins to fade.